Peace. What's up, everybody? And welcome to another episode of Ron's Library and Ideas. It's Ron. Now, today we're going to be continuing on in the book called Satan, an Autobiography as told to Yehuda Berg. And as usual, I'm going to give this disclaimer at the beginning of this so no one gets too spooked out. On this channel, we're all about bettering ourselves. And one of the ways that I want to do that is by sharing the information that I came across, the books that I've read, the ideas that I've had, that I feel like that have changed my life for the better. I discovered this book, Satan, an Autobiography, early on in my journey to consciousness. And it really just made me realize that you can't put the blame on anyone else when things are going wrong in your life. Most of the time, if you look at it and you're honest about it, it comes down to the choices that you're making. Like, what voice are you going to listen to in your head? Are you going to listen to the voice that's telling you the right thing? Or are you going to listen to the voice that's telling you the wrong thing to do? So let's continue on. This is chapter 7 of Satan, an Autobiography as told to Yehuda Berg. Chapter 7. You are being tested. I can feel your anxiety building now, like that nightmare where you walk into a classroom completely unprepared for the exam. Relax. Remember, I am divulging all my secrets here so you can better prepare this time around. Test preparation is the name of the game. I'd like to take a minute to familiarize you with the classroom and the rules that govern this space. First off, know that you'll never get a test that you can't handle. The universe has equipped you with all the tools you'll need to ace every exam that comes your way. There are two important things to keep in mind. 1. Within every test, always be on the lookout for me. Think of each test as a page from Where's Waldo. I'll always be there somewhere. Need a clue? Where selfishness is rearing its pretty head, you are sure to find me. 2. Think of the other person. With any test you encounter, let me tell you that the odds are in your favor. But just because God is on your side doesn't mean you should ever ask to be tested. Ask for a test and the odds change big time. Talk about ask and you shall receive. I'll enter your consciousness with a force you are not prepared to handle. Only God knows when you are ready. So let God decide when to send me in to do my job. And God will, because God knows that you cannot increase the size of your vessel without test. You can't go back to Kansas without confronting the wicked witch that is your selfish nature. 2 types. I will tell you this much. There are 2 types of tests I might throw your way. There's the one-shot deal, blow it and you're done. And the other is my personal favorite, the slow burn. Just the mere sound of these brings me to great excitement. With the one-shot deal, my goal is to hit you with one singular life experience that packs such a powerful punch, it leaves you shattered under the sheer unfairness of it all. The slow burn speaks for itself. With this test, I wear you down slowly. Over time, I corrupt your consciousness. You don't even know that it's happening. It's like the frog in the boiling water experiment. Drop a frog into a pot of nice, cool water, and then gradually bring that water to a boil. Then sit back as the frog cooks up nice and hearty. But if you drop that same frog into a pot of boiling water, he'll jump ship in a heartbeat. In that same way, I prefer the oh-so-slow and steady line of attack. It takes a great deal of patience on my part, but the payoff is that you never see it coming. By the way, I will never let you know the weight of the test in the big picture. You will never know if you are taking a final exam or a mere quiz. So, beware. Sometimes a small test is really a big test in disguise. I freely admit it. I'm a sucker for disguises. The cup of coffee. You might know this one. You are already in a relationship, and then an attractive single person of the opposite sex asks you for a cup of coffee. You're excited about it. Hello, is there such a thing as a simple cup of coffee? Check yourself out. What are you looking for? What's up with your relationship that you are out with someone else for a cup of coffee? Can you see me hiding in this scenario? What lack am I activating in you? What am I feeding you besides coffee? What about being asked out makes you feel good? It's not the caffeine. Is it receiving attention from another person? Is it me? Note this. If you create an opening for me, I will step in and you probably won't like where I take you. Sometimes, the most seemingly harmless decisions are wrought with life-changing consequences, so prepare accordingly. Pop quizzes versus test. On the flip side, sometimes you think you're being given the ultimate test, but the truth is that it's hardly a test at all. Call it a pop quiz at best. Say you're out of town on a business trip and an attractive business associate asks you to join him in his room later. You decline and walk away, proud of yourself for resisting such a tempting offer. But how great was the temptation really? You have a wonderful spouse at home, great kids and a comfortable life. You might have been flattered by the offer, but turning it down didn't cost you much. That doesn't mean that you passed the test. It just means that it wasn't much of a test in the first place. Or maybe it was another kind of test. Where am I hiding? In the pride? In the righteousness? On the other hand, if in that same scenario, it takes every ounce of willpower to force the word no from your lips as you fantasize about what you'll be missing, then congratulations. Now, you are starting to play every bit as hard as I do. See, it's not about the sex that you are choosing to have or not have. It's about the degree to which you recognize and overcome me, your selfish nature. Performing well on one of my many tests is rarely as simple as choosing one action over another. And it's never about right and wrong. It's about what your choice means to you. If I could give you a foolproof rule to go by, that would be too easy, wouldn't it? That's not how I play the game. The key to giving me a real challenge is to be aware that every moment offers an opportunity. Everything starts with awareness. Sure, it sounds simple, but becoming aware is never easy with the likes of me around. And that's the way it's meant to be. I hide inside every minute of your life. So look out and wake up, or pay the piper. You will fail. No one is ever going to pass every test all the time. It's the practice that makes for perfection, remember? To win, you have to fail a few times. It's like the major league batter who makes it into the Hall of Fame for hitting 700 home runs in his career. Imagine how many times the guy swung and missed, fouled out, or was thrown out. Yet, he's one of the best in the history of the game. Sure, it's easy for baseball players because they know what they need to do. Hit it out of the park, right? But I make it much harder for you to keep your eyes on the prize and your head in the game. But if you can overcome me located inside of you and learn to appreciate that paradise in the garden or your destiny, you're home free. You will suffer mistakes and misfires. Your job is to refuse to get bogged down by them. That is to say, failure is a part of the journey. Failure is part of the grand design. It's an integrated component on the motherboard of life. You can't simply remove it or the function it serves. In fact, The only real failure comes when you fail to grow from the challenges you come up against. Real success, on the other hand, is falling down, dusting yourself off, and getting right back into the fray. If you buy into my lie that you failed, you have committed the ultimate sin. And what's the consequence of committing the ultimate sin? Immediate death by lightning bolt? An eternity in Dante's Inferno? I admit that drama and theatrics are normally my style, so it might surprise you that the price for buying into this myth comes without much theatrical fanfare. It's pretty simple, really. When you believe you are a failure, you sacrifice joy, you forfeit fulfillment, and you say goodbye to any chance at peace of mind. That is the consequence of the ultimate sin. It doesn't look so bad on paper, but in reality, it's hell. But there is some good news here. There is an alternative, and it's called letting go. Let go of the ego, and I'll let go of you. I'll let you keep the happiness and fulfillment that is your birthright if you will let go of the notion that you are not worthy of having this joy. When you let go of me, I let go of you. It's a powerful game we are playing, and you are playing against the master. Are you having fun yet? All right, that brings us to the end of chapter 7. You will be tested. And I'm really appreciating that these chapters are broken down the way that they are, and they're short and they're to the point. I think it's obvious that with whatever you do in life, there's going to be some kind of test. One of the things I used to notice back when I was younger is that as soon as I would get into a relationship or I would start talking seriously to one woman, then all these other women would come out the woodwork saying that they were interested in me, or they had feelings for me, or they wanted to get to know me. And it used to blow my mind. It's like, well, where were all of y'all beforehand? But that's how the universe works. When you say you want to do something, well, here comes the test that says, well, let's see if you really want this. Like with any endeavor that you start, there's going to be some challenges. And those challenges are that test that sees, okay, are you going to stick through these challenges and make it to your ultimate goal? I told you guys earlier that I play an instrument. If you're the type that gets frustrated quickly at not being good at something, then playing an instrument may not be for you, because it does require a certain level of patience. You have to put that time and that work in to build up the skill to play that instrument. Unless you're some kind of savant, or you have memories of playing that instrument in your past life, it's going to be a struggle at first. So I'm sure you can think of any kind of endeavor that you wanted to undertake. Let's say you want to start a business. Let's say you wanted to go up and talk to a particular woman. Or ladies, let's say you want to get the attention of a particular man. As soon as you decided that in your mind, some type of challenge came up. And that's the nature of this place. That's what this book is telling you. That there are going to be challenges, and that's what makes life sweet. Because if you go through life and things are too easy, you won't appreciate it. That's the whole reason that we left the Garden of Eden in the first place. Perfection equals death. Once you're at that state of perfection, what else is there to do? The fun part, the interesting part, is striving to get to that state of perfection. Especially down here in the physical, because perfection isn't possible, but you can strive for it. And while you're striving for it, that's when you learn all those lessons that you need to learn to make yourself better as a person. Again, ultimately, the goal of this channel is for us to come across these different bits of information and think about them, contemplate them, and use it to better ourselves. In the book Doom by Frank Herbert, It's like I think Frank Herbert wrote like 7 books before he passed away. It was the 8th book that was supposed to come out in that series, but he died before he could finish it. But in the first book, we are introduced to the Fremen, who are the most powerful fighters in the universe. Nobody can run the fade with the Fremen. So in book 1, that's what they are. In book 2, they're on that same level. But they achieve their goal, and we get to see the Fremen thousands of years into the future after they have achieved that goal and they haven't had to struggle anymore. And you see how that changes them. Bane said it in The Dark Knight Rises. He said, victory has defeated you. You know, you win your goal or you win the prize that you've been trying to get, and you stop working to better yourself. So that in turn is going to let you be surpassed by somebody who's still out there striving to get better. So these challenges, you should always seek new challenges for yourself. Now, we all want some level of comfort in our lives. That's natural. But at a certain point, all right, I need to find a new challenge for myself. I need to find something to push myself to higher heights. When you get a chance, you should look up what the suicide rates are and the drug addiction rates are for the ultra wealthy. You know, these people have all the money in the world, but they don't have that peace of mind because they haven't had anything to strive for or to struggle for in a long time. You know, you ever heard that saying that it's not the destination, it's the journey? Well, when we have a society that's based entirely on wealth and how much money that you have, and that determines your self-worth and, you know, what you can do in society, to the people who have all that money, they get bored. They have to find new ways to find pleasure out of life. And for some of them, that leads to drug addiction or depression. So you may not have the most money in the world right now. You may not be exactly where you want to be, but that's the exciting part because you can keep working towards that. You can turn that dream into a reality. So anyway, you guys let me know what you think. Again, thank you for tuning in. Share this video. Share these chapters with someone who you think could use this information. Also on this channel, I have Nathan McCall's book, Makes Me Want to Holler, up as an audio book as well. I think that's well worth the listen. And, you know, after listening to what I'm saying about Satan or the adversary in this book, you can go back and listen to Nathan McCall's book, Makes Me Want to Holler, and see how Satan or the adversary was playing a very strong role in his life and how he had those challenges throughout his life, and he didn't always beat those challenges. He failed a lot of those tests. And because of that, Nathan ran into a lot of trouble. See, that's something I just thought about, tying those 2 books together. But it comes down to choice. Remember, in those old cartoons, you had the cartoon character, and he had an angel on one shoulder and a devil on the other shoulder. And it was all about, well, which one are you going to listen to? And they both look like that main character. So you have to decide for yourself at every moment of the day, what voice am I going to listen to? You know, they say your higher self is the one that looks without judgment. It just observes what your thoughts are. Your thoughts come from your ego, and they're loud. But something that Dr. Phil Valentine, taught in the video, he says you can tell it's your higher voice when it comes across as a whisper. It won't be anything loud. It'll just be a small little voice in your head that says, you know, maybe I should do this, or maybe I shouldn't do that, or let me give so-and-so a call. It's not going to be a loud voice. Usually that loud voice is your ego reacting with judgment. But again, thank you guys for tuning in. You are part of the resistance. If you're listening to this, keep working to better yourself. Strive a little bit every day and watch how your situation changes around you. I'll see you guys in the next chapter. Peace.